Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. I am your host Sandman. Today I'm going to be reviewing Dada locksmith tools. Let's get into it. So this is a rotary tool. Some people call it a leashy style tool. I disagree, but I understand where they are coming from. This is just basically a lockpick for dimple locks, and this just gives you a really great amount of control for picking high security dimple locks such as pin and pin technology like we see on multi-lock cylinders and a few others. And we're going to talk about that here, but let's go ahead and go over some of the product details. So Dada Dimple Pick. This particular product is not the 7x7 that I'm going to be demonstrating. I'll do that in a future video. I have that, but I'm going to be demonstrating on the Multi-Lock Interactive instead. But Dada brand tries to create affordable yet good tools for locksmiths and lock pickers. Delivery time 2 to 3 tag. I'm guessing that is 2 to 3 weeks in German. And let's see here. So this item retails for 172 euros. My friends, I apologize. I completely forgot to get the conversion for that. But you know, if you're going to be buying overseas, just click buy and close your eyes. Don't pay attention to it. But you know, let's just assume it's going to be around 180 to 190 US dollars. And that, so it's actually 145 without the taxes and excluding the shipping costs. But with that VAT tax, I'm guessing that's what that is 172 euros. So moving forward, it says, here's an issue with this. I don't understand. It says discontinued item only while stocks last. But I've talked to both Sasha Wendt, the owner of the website, and I've talked to Dada, the actual manufacturer. His name's Zubin, and I thought they had a long running, you know, relationship going on with them selling this thing. So I don't know what that means, but they still have these in stock. So it's kind of confusing. Maybe I can get that cleared up in the comments down below. But I really like this product, and I have 4 of them. So I was like, I need to review them. So might as well review them. So the Dada Dimple Picks allow you to change the tips and picks, which means that additional locks can be opened cheaply in the future without buying a whole tool. This tool is suitable for multi-lock interactive cylinders with left profile. The lines on the tool are for guidance purposes only. Because the grips are intended to be universal grips, these lines do not always correspond to the pin positions or pin heights. This makes it possible to only swap the tip and the pick. So what it's saying is that these things are interchangeable. And I have an Aries tool that I'm still learning how to use. I'm going to be doing a review of that shortly. It's a Multipick Aries tool, but this is like the little brother of the Aries tool. And I think it's probably going to be in some people's price range for sure, where the Aries tool may not. So I do have quite a bit of an investment, as you can see here, in these tools. And so each one of these cases has a Dada tool inside right there, and this particular one is for the Multi-Lock Junior, and I'm still waiting to buy a Multi-Lock Junior. I have a classic, I have a 7x7, and I have 2 interactives. So, and this is another Dada tool, and that's for the Multi-Lock right. So we'll talk about that for a second. That's the one I have out here, and this is for the T60, so that's a T60. And that's not a multi-lock, it's a different dimple lock. So this is a multi-tool. This is going to pick multi-lock 7x7, multi-lock classic, and multi-lock interactive. And it doesn't say that in there, but I know for a fact that it does. And let's talk about why. So a multi-lock interactive and a multi-lock classic are essentially the same thing. And a multi-lock 7x7 is similar in the sense, well, that's not similar. It's 7 pins, but it doesn't use pin and pin technology. And the only difference between a multi-lock classic and a multi-lock interactive, to my understanding, is just the keyway. And the key to a multi-lock interactive uses an interactive element. This guy right there, it's just an interactive element. But when you go to pick these multi-lock interactive locks, this element just, it has no purpose whatsoever. It's just for, I think it's just for key control, you know, so you can't just throw any key in there whatsoever. So we're going to find out the hard way whether that's correct or not. I have a multi-lock classic, I have all the Dada tools, and I have a multi-lock 7x7. I'll pick that on camera next week. I think I've done it before. No, I haven't done it on camera yet, but let's go ahead and get into it. So I do have a pick here, and the pick on the end here, if you can see that, the pick there has a large flag and then a smaller flag for the pin and pin technology. And you know, when I do actually make a video of me just picking the multi-lock, I'll gut it and we'll explain all that, but really this is about the tool itself. So I do have a pin and pin flag there, and I'm able to rotate it here, and I can pick up to 5 pins based off of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there. However, you'll notice that there's a 7, a 6, and a 5 right here. That is for picking the 7x7. So that's cool. However, we have a left flag and a right flag. So this is a multi-lock left. To my understanding, after talking to the manufacturer of data tools, the left-handed keyways are primarily found in Europe. The right-handed keyways are the ones that are primarily found in the US among US distributors of multi-lock. Looking at them on the face, though, is kind of difficult. So what's the solution? You guys are going to hate me for this. The solution is I would highly recommend that if you want to be able to pick multi-lock classic, multi-lock interactive, and multi-lock 7x7, buy both, buy left and right. I know that's a huge investment, but if you're not a locksmith, maybe you don't need these. Also, alternatively, before I get into picking this, if you are a Locksporter, this is a pinned to a purple belt level lock. So this has spool pins, mushroom spools. It does not have serrated. That would be brown belt. I'm still working on that. I have no doubt that this can pick it. I just haven't spent a whole lot of time with it. So this is a purple belt level lock. You cannot use this tool to go up and rank in the Reddit karate belt lockpicking system. You have to do it all by hand, which is what I did. I picked it with this tool and I submitted it for my my belt request, and I said, sorry man, like it's too much of a leashy style pick. You need to be able to manipulate by hand. I said, that's fine. So 2 weeks later, I was able to pick this thing by hand, and that's how I got my purple belt. But what was cool was this thing taught me about how to pick a multi-lock. I struggled for years, 7 years to be exact. I was a blue belt for 7 years, and it took me 7 years to get to my purple belt. Now it's going to take me 100 to get the brown belt. And I was able to use this to teach myself the pin and pin technology, and let's do that together. So we have the pin, there we go. So let's see if I can get this in there. Now here's the deal. When we are picking a high security dimple lock, such as multi-lock, that is going to have either spool or serrated driver pins, the direction that we pick the pins, okay, we actually want to rotate in the opposite direction, to pick in the opposite direction there. So if I'm rotating the pick to the right to lift those pins, I want to rotate the cylinder the complete opposite direction, which would be kind of to the left or counterclockwise. So clockwise, counterclockwise. Reason being is if I try to rotate the cylinder in the same direction that I'm rotating my pick to lift the pins, oftentimes we will bind the pin in an unconventional manner on the security driver pin. So from my understanding, it binds the spool pin in such a way that you're not able to lift it above the shear line. However, if we rotate against the direction that we are picking, we don't get that unusual binding. So we are going to do just that. I am going to rotate my lifter pick here in a clockwise fashion, but I'm going to rotate my plug in a counterclockwise fashion, okay? The other benefit to using this tool is that if I were to pick this by hand, it's going to be really hard to rotate that plug 360 degrees without bricking the lock or dropping pins inside there that are basically going to make the lock lock up. It's going to lock up permanently. It's going to seize up. This fills up all the gaps. So this is super practical for locksmiths. This is great for entry teams like SWAT, military, federal agents. This is not really a tool for having I have fun with it. It's not really a tool for Locksport because they won't let you use it in Locksport for grading up. So that's fine. It is what it is. So I'm going to go counterclockwise here, and I'm going to pick clockwise. So we're going to start with pin 5. I got to click out of 5. Got to click out of 4. Small click out of 3. Big click out of 3. Small click out of 2. Big click out of 2. Small click out of 1. Big click out of 1. I'm looking for a false set though. That's what I really want to do. We're going to go all the way back to 5. See if the, oh, now I'm in my false set. I'm in my false set. I got a lot of movement on the core, so nothing left to set on 5. Okay, small click out of 4. That's me setting the inner pins. Nothing on 3 to set. Small click out of 2. And we got an open. See, the benefit of this tool is being able to do a full 360 degrees to rotate or retract that bolt. I can always use a plug spinner, I think, to get it going the other way. If I have to, of course, I can go ahead and try to pick it the other way, but I'm currently retracting that bolt right now is what I would be doing. So full 360 degrees there. Super cool. I really like this tool. I love that it teaches me the difference between picking outer pins versus picking inner pins. I really like the flag that's on the tip of this. I wish somebody would make these flags available for lock picks, but nobody's done it yet. So we do have the 7 numbers here for a multi-lock 7x7. We do have the 5 number here for interactive and classic. And you just saw me pick a high security lock in under probably a minute or 2. So I really love that tool. Again, I highly recommend that if you do want to make the investment into these guys, and I know it is a big investment, I highly recommend that you get the left and you get the right version. You really need both versions, so that way when you are coming across multi-lock locks, whether it be a multi-lock classic, interactive, 7x7, with these 2 tools, you're almost guaranteed to get in. You're almost guaranteed. The only thing that I would add to this video is that I believe they are going to come out with a couple new versions of this, maybe some other type of multi-tool where you can replace the flags. As we read in the product description, you can replace the flags. I've never bent these flags, but now Wint is now selling the flags individually, and so I'll probably be buying a set, you know, while their supplies still last. Again, I don't know why it says discontinued. That's craziness. I have no idea why they said that. I would love to see what's going on with that, but while supplies last, they still have these in stock, and I highly recommend this. If you are a locksmith, if you are working for a federal agency and you deal with high security Dimple locks, I highly recommend you taking a look at these as an investment. You know your company can write it off. This particular lock is a Mogul cylinder. Let me spell that out for some of you guys, because it's kind of a funny word here. Let me get something to write on real quick. Hang on one second. I might as well teach you guys what a Mogul cylinder is. So this is a Mogul cylinder, okay? Mogul. Is that correct? Probably not. So Mogul, prison. So prison, Mogul, or institutional locks, okay, are typically going to be a lot larger. They're made larger for the durability, because you get a lot of people that are put in places and you don't want these guys getting out. You don't want them getting out through, destructive entry methods. So this thing is super heavy. This thing weighs at least 2.5 pounds. This thing is not light. It's ginormous. I can't even put my fingers around it all the way. You know, compared to a padlock, this thing's huge. So anyways, high security, and this is found in prisons. It's found in hospitals. They use these in all different types of institutions. They're probably not going to put this on a door that actually imprisons someone, like an actual prison cell. Those are typically going to be lever locks or magnetic electronic locks. But this is going to be something you would see in a hospital, or you'd see this in administrative offices inside of a prison. So that's super cool. I've had this. I purchased this guy for $200. I have a key in here somewhere. Purchased it for like $200, and I've always wanted to be able to pick this thing. There's the key. Always wanted to be able to pick this thing, and for 7 years I couldn't until I got the Dada tool. I talked to Zhubin, who designed these. He said the reason why he called them Dada is because it makes a little da, 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 da as you're picking the lock. It makes a little da sound. So he's like, I thought it would be cute if I called it Dada. Super nice guy. I love the tool. This is definitely going into like my everyday carry, as it pertains to like if I was going to be doing entry or lockout or locksmithing, I would want these with me, because I've worked for locksmith shops where we have been dealers and distributors of multi-lock. So, but this is new technology, and this was not around 10 years ago when I was a locksmith. So super exciting to be able to have that. I hope this review did these tools some justice. I'm going to be picking a lot of multi-lock locks in the future. I'm going to be using these tools in the future. I'm going to be doing demonstrations on the 7x7. I'm going to be doing demonstrations on the Multi-Lock Classic and this that's the Junior. I need to do that, and everything else I can get my hands on. This is just a preview of the company itself. So let me know in the comments down below, do you see this as being practical in the Locksport community? Excuse me. Or do you think this is just a product that is only good for locksmiths or, the like? There's a few different accessories in here you can add. I don't really need to use the accessories. It does come with an Allen wrench, so you can replace the tools. But we do have tools like this where I can screw this guy in for extra tension on that cylinder there with my thumb or my index finger. You can get it very close and similar to using it like you're picking a regular lock. But I don't use that. I really like just using the round grip here. This is very similar to a disc detainer lock in my opinion. Let me know comments down below. Is there a place for this in Locksport? Do you think this is just a locksmith, sneaky agent, type tool, or, SWAT team tool, federal government type tool? I don't know. I think this is cool, and I really wish this had a place in Locksport. I wish they would allow me to use this for belting, but I totally get why this thing is super easy to use, and it makes high security locks null and void. Guys, that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Mr. Sandman.